What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on KJZ, Keyshawn Johnson is going to be talking about the rookie quarterback for the Chargers, Justin Herbert. So let's see what they have to say about him.
The future seems really bright for Justin Herbert, and like Babe Ruth, you called your shot with this kid.
Well, look.
Yeah, the Chargers definitely have a bright future with Justin Herbert.
Man, it does look bright. I was excited to see how well he played last night. Excited to see Coach Lynn get the overtime victory when so many people question his game management, his clock management. And here's what we go back to the beginning of the football season into the spring, prior to the draft, doing free agency. There was so much build up about what the Chargers would do moving on from Phillip Rivers. They had Tyrod Taylor sitting there in the wings waiting for Phillip Rivers to depart. They decided not to retain Phillip Rivers. He leaves.
You guys, so I don't know who that is that's blowing their nose or sniffing or whatever, but it's not me. This is getting out of control, but just let you guys know it's not me.
Now they're on the clock. What do we do? Should they sign Cam Newton? Oh, well, Cam Newton they should sign, and maybe he's a bridge to a quarterback they draft. Should they go get to it? What all these different things. And quiet was kept. The guy right down the road was Justin Herbert at the University of Oregon. I was fortunate enough to go to the Rose Bowl to see him. I wanted to go see him. You know, I saw him against Arizona State and against Marvin Lewis and Antonio Pierce and Herm Edwards and an NFL defense. And that was the first time that he had to deal with that, and they got after him. He had a poor football game. But then I wanted to see him again up close. I saw him at the USC game, even though I was somewhat non-stable after drinking too much tequila.
Nice.
You know, at the game, tailgating. And so that was kind of foggy. But when I went to the Rose Bowl to see him, I sat there zooming, and I'm like, you know, he didn't have a lot of throws. He ran the ball well, but you could see it come off. Whenever he would spin it, you could see it come off his wrist. And then as time went on, you heard the name Joe Burrow. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, no, I understand what Joe Burrow has done at LSU and breaking records and winning the Heisman. But to me, this is the guy. He's 6'6". He's athletic. He's big. He's a big, tall, long guy. I mean, really.
Look at those numbers.
Athletic. And so I'm watching him run the ball against Wisconsin, and I'm saying, this is the guy. I don't see how others don't see it. And then as he falls in the draft, the Chargers sit quiet, and they say nothing. And then all of a sudden, they grab him. He's supposed to sit tight while he learns from Tyrod Taylor. Unfortunate accident happens to Tyrod Taylor with the punctured lung. He's inserted into the lineup against the Kansas City Chiefs. He takes them down to the wire. And Justin Herbert's legacy has lived on from there. I mean,
so Justin Herbert is an absolute beast. I cannot wait to watch this guy tear it up for his career. I bet you the Chargers are going to get to at least 1 or 2 Super Bowls and maybe win one out of those. So let's take a quick look at Justin Herbert's stats for the year. So Justin Herbert has thrown for 3,781 yards. That's second overall for quarterbacks. He's thrown 27 touchdowns. That's 8th overall for quarterbacks. He's thrown 10 picks. That's 25th overall for quarterbacks. And his QBR is 68.3. I don't know what ranking that would be, but Justin Herbert is an absolute beast. So last weekend against the the Las Vegas Raiders, he went 22 for 32 for 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Justin Herbert is playing like a veteran out there. I mean, this guy, I cannot wait to see this guy's career and how he's going to pan out. He's an absolute beast, and he was a sleeper in the draft, even though he went high. But yeah, I'm very, very high on Justin Herbert. It makes me a Los Angeles Charger fan again, even though they left San Diego. So.
To be said, kid, about always staying ready, right? 27 passing TDs that ties Baker Mayfield, that he had that record in 2018. And I don't know, situation has so much to do. We talk about that, key, where you get drafted to, what opportunities are given to you. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor happened. But the kid gets an opportunity. And look, the 3 C's, right? He's always cool, calm, and collective, you feel like. Now, that can usually be a knock on kids from California, right? That they're too cool. But it just seems like...
Easy talking about the kids from California, right? Anybody that comes out of California is going to be a baller and cool just off gate. That's just how it is. It's natural.
got drafted to the right situation, to the Chargers, not like the Rams, not with all these crazy expectations, and gets a chance to settle in.
One thing, fellas, I want to mention on the Raiders tip here, Key, and this is really interesting. You know, we sung their praises after they knocked off the Chiefs in Arrowhead. We really sung their praises after they narrowly lost to the Chiefs at home. Now their chances to make the playoffs have diminished to 5%. And Key, think about what has happened to the Raiders here in the last 4 or 5 days. They fired their defensive coordinator, Paul Gunther. Then they have 4 defensive starters missing in last night's game. And oh, by the way, their offensive coordinator wasn't there last night because he's dealing with COVID. That's Greg Olson. So you shake up both of your coordinators in less than a week. You're missing 4 starters on defense, and now your playoff hopes have all but disappeared. Yet another key late season fade for Gruden in go-around number 2 with the Raiders.
Yeah, and you know, I can't put my finger on it. It's just a situation. Unfortunate Carr gets hurt. They were driving. They had some momentum. They were back and forward, playing pretty good football at that point in time. It's just it didn't work out. And so now you're looking.
Look at those nasty numbers. Man, Gruden's he's got his work cut out for him. This is out of control.
Why can't they fix the secondary? How come the defense is playing the way that it was playing? I know one thing in terms of the rush defense, Rob Marinelli fixed that. The pass defense, they did not fix. They need to get together and figure out how to get that done. And maybe just some of the coaching decisions, in-game decisions, is costing them to the point where they're kind of melting down. Last year, they lose 5 of the last 6 games, and now this year, they've lost 4 of the last 5. They're headed in that direction. They should have lost to the New York Jets, and they would be 5 for 5. But it didn't happen that way. So when you start to look at it, you have to wonder what is going on with Coach Gruden. And I go back to his tenure with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I look at that, and I sit there and I say to myself, this is sort of the same way that things went in Tampa. After the Super Bowl victory, collapses were happening in the second half of the season. I don't know if it's adjustments. I don't know what it is, but it certainly needs to be fixed.
Look, I know we have to go to break in about a minute, but it just felt like the Raiders deserved to lose last night because they weren't playing to win. Like, you play to win. Overtime, you know, you run 2 running plays with Josh Jacobs. Okay, you run a little bit of a play action on the last one. Why not go for it on 4th down? If anything, you pin the Chargers within their own end zone, like on the 5-yard line. I don't understand the